Okay, so when you hear the word cartel, what comes to mind? Probably just chaos, right? Pure violence. But what if I told you to think of it more like a multi-billion-dollar corporation? A company with a surprisingly clear and brutally efficient career path. Let's get into it.
So, the big question is, how do you actually pull that off? How do you go from being a totally disposable nobody on some random street corner to the CEO of one of the most powerful and, let's be honest, dangerous organizations on the entire planet?
All right, this is the ladder you've got to climb. And it starts at the absolute bottom, with a role called Los Halcones, the lookouts. This is where your journey begins. You're the eyes and ears of the cartel now. And your office? Yeah, it's a street corner.
Okay, so this first part of your career, it's all about the street-level hustle. And look, to get anywhere, you have to prove two very simple things. One, that you're reliable, and two, that you're tough. Let's break down how you'd actually do that.
Day 1. Your new boss walks up, hands you two things, a cheap burner phone and a radio. Your job? It's simple. You just watch. You're monitoring highways, you're watching ports, you're keeping an eye out for rival gangs and, of course, police movements. To put it bluntly, you're a cheap, totally disposable early warning system.
So how do you get out of this dead-end job? It's all about one thing: unwavering reliability. The rules are simple. Don't get caught, don't fall asleep on the job, and make sure your reports are dead-on accurate. You do that day in and day out, and maybe, just maybe, you'll get a shot at handling the product yourself.
Congratulations, welcome to distribution. You're now the one physically moving the product or the cash. You could be a tirador, that's a street-level dealer, or a mule, basically someone whose entire job is just to get contraband from point A to point B. But you have to understand something. The risk here is absolutely off the charts. Seriously, at this level, you are the single most likely person in the entire organization to end up in handcuffs.
So, what's the promotion criteria now? It's pretty stark, honestly. Just survive. If you can somehow navigate this incredibly high-risk world without getting caught or, killed, you start to earn a reputation. You already proved you're reliable, now you have to prove you're hard. You do that, and you just might get the call up to the cartel's enforcement wing.
Okay, so this is a major career shift. We're talking a whole new ballgame. You're not just a hustler anymore. You are about to become a card-carrying member of the organization's violent arm, where your entire value is measured in coercion and control.
You proved you were tough, right? Well, now they've handed you a rifle. Welcome to the big leagues. You're a Sicario. You are the muscle, the enforcers. Your new job description? Protecting bosses, running extortion rackets, and, handling the killings. You're the tool they use to keep absolutely everyone in line.
And this is where the entire mindset has to change. Your new currency? It's fear. These brutal, often very public displays of violence, they're not just about taking out a target. No. They're about sending a powerful message to your rivals and, just as importantly, keeping everyone inside the organization disciplined.
Now here's the crucial thing you have to get. Moving up from being a Sicario, it's not about your body count. Not at all. It's about what's in your head. Can you plan a successful operation from start to finish? Can you actually manage a team of other killers? You have to prove you've got a mind for tactics, not just a stomach for the violence.
And let's say your tactical mind paid off. Boom! You're now a teniente, a lieutenant. You're in charge of your very own crew of Sicarios. See, you're not the guy kicking in the door anymore. You're the one planning the entire operation. Who the targets are, what weapons to use, the getaway vehicles, the safe houses, all of it. You're basically a field commander and, kind of weirdly, an HR manager for a very, very dangerous team. Okay, now hold on. Before you can reach the real executive level, you have to understand the other side of the business. Think of these next two roles less as direct promotions and more as parallel white-collar departments that are absolutely essential to the whole operation.
So on one side, you've got the chemist, and this isn't some former Sicario who learned on the job. We're talking a highly educated chemical engineer running industrial-scale super labs. Then, on the other side, you have the financier. Think of this person as the cartel's CFO, an expert in international banking whose entire job is to figure out how to launder billions with a B in cash using everything from shell companies and casinos to crypto. So you've proven you can manage people. Now you get promoted to manage the product itself. You are the jefe de logistica, the head of the entire supply chain. And this is a massive, incredibly high-stakes business role. You're the one designing the smuggling routes. We're talking everything from narco subs to cross-border tunnels. And you're also managing the network of bribes to police and customs officials.
And just to give you an idea of the stakes, a single shipment that you are now responsible for could be worth $50 million.
And the consequence of failure? It's absolute. If that $50 million shipment gets seized, the loss isn't just a number on a spreadsheet. It's your head. Literally. The pressure at this level is just immense.
Okay, you've somehow mastered logistics. You're a star. Now it's time to make the real leap. You're about to go from managing a function, like moving product, to governing territory. This, right here, is the final path to the C-suite. Your reward for all that high-pressure success? Pure power. You are now a jefe de plaza, a plaza boss. Now, a plaza is just a strategic territory. It could be a key border crossing, a major port, or even an entire city. And it's yours. You are now its owner and its governor.
And your job here basically boils down to two main things. First, you collect what's called piso. It's a tax on all local crime in your area. And second, you're the gatekeeper. Remember your old job in logistics? Well, the new guys in that role now have to pay you massive fees just for the right to move their product through your turf. You've basically become a public-facing warlord.
Let's say you don't just run your plaza, you absolutely dominate it. Well, there's a reward for that too. A promotion to the executive level. You're now a jefe regional. You are a true general, overseeing several other plaza bosses. You're the one planning wars. You act as the high judge in internal disputes. And most importantly, you are the primary firewall protecting the person at the very, very top.
You've done it all. You've outfought, you've out-earned, and you've outsmarted every single person who stood in your way. There is only one level left to climb, the throne itself. This is the final ascent.
And at this point, your life changes completely. You just disappear. You become a ghost. You will never touch the product again. You'll never personally order a hit. That old life, it's completely over.
You are now El Capo, the CEO of a multi-billion-dollar global corporation. And your new life is all about perceived legitimacy. You own construction companies, cattle ranches, shipping lines, resorts. You're a political donor, a philanthropist. Your job isn't managing violence anymore. It's managing relationships with senators, with cabinet ministers, with the leaders of other cartels. You're not just a kingpin. You're a kingmaker.
So you've made it. You're at the absolute pinnacle of this criminal empire. You're a billionaire, you're seemingly untouchable and completely unseen. But the one question that always hangs in the air is, for how long?